It's really crazy. So it's going to be a hard thing for us, but it also depends on the style of basketball you're playing. Remember, there's a time the Houston Rockets decided to play small ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
They fielded four guards.
Yeah, four guards, one big man,
one center.
Yeah. So if that is the direction we're heading to, and we're going to play small ball, it might help us. Okay.
Good afternoon. It is the 26th of June 2021, and wherever you are watching from, in Uganda, in the diaspora, we are live. The show is Slam Dunk Basketball Talk, where we discuss, dissect, and get to intervene within the various issues about the game of basketball. My name is Felix Elpal. On this Saturday afternoon, the lockdown is not actually doing so many people very well. It is biting down, and people are trying to every single way to survive. Sport in the country has been stopped as of the directive by the president. However, there are various other activities that are going on and that are in preparation. Some of that is our national basketball teams, the Gazelles, that is the women, and the Silverbacks, that is the men. But before we get into that, Emma, thank you so much for being part of the show. Say, introduce yourself to the viewers out there.
Good afternoon. For those who do not know me, my name is Ateng Emmanuel. I'm a co-host Felix. Though he's talking like I'm a stranger today. I think these are the effects of lockdown.
These are some of the effects of lockdown when public transport is closed, and
you walk so much that you forget the people that you actually work with.
After a very long time, and like I said before the show, I have actually had to ride a bicycle. I hadn't thought that I'd forgotten how to ride a bicycle, but that is one of the effects of adapting.
But I think it was a good thing for you, because knowing that you're not that fit, I think it's working out for you.
Well, it is, trust me. Now I also have to do another return on a bicycle. So the lockdown is actually going to help improving our health and fitness.
Yeah, that's the good side. That's the good side of it.
Yeah. In studio today, our special guest is a gentleman who at the moment holds different titles, and I'll leave him to introduce himself. Thank you so much, and to the viewers out there.
Thank you so much. My name is Francis Okello. I'm currently the head coach of SCCA. I really appreciate the opportunity for being here. A lot of things have been happening. Also, I play for YMCA. I've been coaching Deje and Saku for a while, for like 10 years. That's where my game of basketball and my passion for coaching started, because I won a lot of championship out of there. It was a really struggle for me to come from high school, then immediately go to
get into a coaching capacity.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Francis Okello, for gracing Slam Dunk Basketball with your time, with your presence. Emma, I don't know where we should begin. So many things have been happening in FUBA. Let's start with JKL. There is trouble in paradise. President of JKL Basketball Organization, Mr. Jeff Inyange, confirmed to the players and to management that he will be stepping down effective this month. And effective 1st July, the players of JKL men's basketball team will no longer have contracts. What is your take on that move? It took so many by surprise.
You know,
you have played for JKL before, which is quite interesting.
I wouldn't say it took me personally by surprise.
So you weren't surprised?
No, I was not. I was actually thinking, why hadn't it happened already?
Why hadn't it happened
earlier?
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
because I played for JKL and I kind of knew what was happening there at the time, and it's amazing that they actually stayed, you know, together for that long. Because when you look at Jeff, okay, and Freedom, the co-owners of JKL, those are two guys with very different perspectives and very different characters, okay, and it was bound at a certain point that these characters were going to clash.
Collide.
Okay, I mean, you have Jeff, who's his leadership style is to befriend the players, you know, go out with the players, you know, be an all-inclusive kind of person. Then you have Jeff, you know, his management style is basically one that comes from companies, you know. You and the players are not supposed to interact.
There's a divide.
Yes, there's a very big divide, okay, and that's how he runs it. So these styles of theirs at the end of the day had to collide, okay. But the people I feel sorry for are actually the players, because I mean, we had contracts, and some of these contracts, despite the lockdown, were still supposed to be running, and they were supposed to be getting some money, at least for upkeep and all that, okay. But now, where does that leave the players?
But there's also the conflict of him as president not having the ability to terminate player contracts, because the players have their contracts with the organization, which organization is Just Keep Living, JKL.
Yeah, but at this point, he's the president of
He's the president.
Just Keep Living. Okay.
Yes.
So I believe that the
but
president.
there's also another committee which it sits with.
But at the end of the day, the president, I think, reserves the rights.
Well,
end contracts.
We shall get to find out as it comes. Okay, what is your take on that?
No, if I can add, because I've also
You've also been
a part of
JKL, which actually is very good.
In fact, my
part of the coaching staff.
Yeah, it was JKL. I really thank Freedom about that. It was my experience, you know, coaching people who have been admired. Coaching Malinga, coaching Ivan, coaching
Brian Namake.
That is Ivan Enabu.
And there was, it was no man, you know, that time I would be that man, no man for long. Still, I was still young, but now I'm coaching no man. It was dream come true. Anyway, about, you know,
how did you handle that, coaching players that you have looked up to?
No, I went with my philosophy.
Junior?
So it's all about, if you, I told them I really respect you, and even I told them I could fight hard to see you playing, just moving around guys. But now this is my opportunity, so it's about respect. So if you want to respect me, it's all about, and there were, you know, friendship and someone who understands me. It's all about, and experience about, because I could. We don't just come to coach like that. You have to go through coaching clinic. So I had ideas of coaching and how to deal with such a people.
You are a FIBA certified coach.
Yes.
So going to the issue of the friction at the moment within JKL.
JKL, I can say, you know, that team we can say is Freedom. Freedom started the team. Freedom started the team, and he has all the privilege, you can say, because all the Jeff just came in again, and when he has come in, when you divide the roles, so you have to follow the roles, not again coming and want to be the boss. So as I see, let's say Freedom now, because now he knows where, at least if I take the ladies team, his advantage, not costly and higher advantage of me. And now Jeff, he has come back, he wants to win, yet he wants championship. And whereby championship, there are people.
Of course, there's a sacrifice,
there's a lot of
cost
stuff
to
that
pay.
goes into championship.
Which takes, it's a process. It's a process and management. And when now again someone comes in between, it becomes hard as a management. That's why the conflict comes. So he wants to start, for him, he wants to start like the way City Hall started.
But City Hall also started from
Division
Division
down,
3,
then made
came
their
up
way
to Division 2, came to Division 1.
That's what
then
he wants
came
to start
national,
now, I think. That's what.
and then they won the title, and they've done it for 7 years. Emma, according to Sports Nation, which broke the story of Jeff Nyangi actually resigning his presidency.
Yeah.
Part of the reasons that was cited, which he himself, while having a conversation with him, confirmed that were true. One was disrespect. The second was underperformance. And the third was that he was, I quote, I am investing a lot of money and not seeing results. Now, what is your take on that submission from Mr. Jeff Nyanga?
Well, let me talk about the investment part first, okay? When a businessman, it doesn't matter what kind of business you do, okay? When you invest something, okay, let's say you invest your money, okay? Expecting immediate results like there and then, it's like planting a seed in the ground and saying, I'm going to harvest this seed tomorrow.
I'm going to get
It's a very hard thing, okay? So I think Jeff came in with the perspective of, you know what, I'm putting my money into this team. We're getting all these players, because if you look at the players they have on paper, it's a very good team.
On paper, I believe they are
One
the
of the
most
best,
competitive
yes, one of
side,
the most competitive
not
teams.
even the best side.
Yeah,
on
they
paper.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. But his idea was, let me invest in this team and let it what? Perform without the team ever coming together, gelling together, you know, working with the coaches. And this 2021 league was very short notice, okay?
Yes.
So,
One round.
Yeah, one round.
So you don't have an
Okay.
opportunity of playing the same team again.
Exactly. You know, and remember the time he came into JKL was 2019,
Yes, 20.
and then 2020 the lockdown happened. So
Yes.
you also didn't have an opportunity to basically work with that team. Okay, so his investment was supposed to be a long-term thing.
Investment.
Okay, invest for the future. He's trying to do what City Oil did, but City Oil invested for the future. I mean, 8 years back, that is when they started. He wants to do it in 1-2 seasons. That is very hard. Then the part about disrespect, okay?
Yeah, that part was also
That now,
very sensitive.
I don't know what disrespect is talking about, whether from, you know, his partner or from the team, okay? Because I know that a couple of guys in the team actually have friction with him. So maybe that disrespect came from there. But you know, as a team president, as a team manager, you're supposed to sit down with your players and discuss and find a middle ground, okay, for you to work together. You can't sort of be an island on the other side and the players are also on one side, and you know they do something and you say this is disrespect, and now we're just going to cut ties. You know?
Going to Okello, one of the other reason that Jeff Nyanga cited out was the issue of indiscipline, and he said, Felix, you know the indiscipline I'm talking about. I won't go into details. My players stay out a lot. They come out to a game on Saturday and they're tired. I cannot be handling, he used the word which would not be able to use here. This is a family station, but it was a word in quotes. Yeah, that I cannot handle that kind of stuff. You talk about the discipline issue when you are at JKL.
Yes, it's you know, like when you move outside, because we currently training in Nambole.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they build another court.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the time I've been there, we were training Nambole. So when you move Nambole outside, there's some, I can say joints. Yeah. That thing is there. Get. But the only thing,
the joints around Chireka.
Because me, such a thing I don't tolerate. It's true. Those players are there who have that issue, and also sometimes it comes from management. Get management. How do you take it? Do you take it lightly? Get it? Someone has come when he's toxic. You can't allow. Get it? You can't allow. You immediately chase. Get it? Those are the things. Even missing training, because now you can say okay, because what freedom has done, whereby I give like Namaki, I can give example of Namaki. Namaki also work with the freedom, you get it? So that attachment is there, you get it? Now it's easier to know the player, okay, you are living, you can't miss training. You can't miss training. You're living at work at this time. Even the ladies has done that to ladies, some of the ladies get. So when missing training is common, because now I know I'm a superstar, I'll miss training. Those are the things which me I face.
I'll still get
face. And when you don't put that player in, the managers aren't complaining. I pay that player a lot of money. He has to play. So those things are common everywhere. I can say everywhere. The money works.
How do you think that can be resolved?
That is now when you give the coach all authority. You are the man. You are the coach. Decide. not this thing of the manager again, be part of coaching.
But the coach's
Yes.
job is to coach the team.
The coach's job is to coach the team. That is why the team has a head coach,
Yeah.
an assistant coach, and then someone who manages the team.
You know, there are those
Who
players.
handles the operations of the team. Emma, I think
There are those players,
Yes.
like for the years I've been coaching, there's those players whereby coach and manager is not bringing the player, not the coach.
Oh, the manager doesn't bring the player.
Yes. So the manager decide, I've liked that player, like I can say Norman. First we didn't want Norman. Okay, me myself,
but management said
we want Norman.
We have brought the player.
So the player comes because of his experience in discipline. But now for us, it's also about this. If you can't follow, so it goes to the manager.
As
Manager,
a coach, you have a different philosophy.
with the
Management
manager
has a
also.
different philosophy.
So that's where the confusion comes.
Yeah.
I trust that's where confusion comes.
Emma, what do you think is headed up front for JKL when sport resumes? The league was left with only 1 weekend to the end of the regular season. Currently, they were sitting 6th on the table among the 10 teams. So they are, I believe, they are guaranteed of a playoff position. What do you anticipate to happen?
Oh, well, with such trouble in the camp, okay, I mean, I don't think the players are really that psyched to play anymore, okay? They've reached a point whereby...
Remember, they're going to start playing when they have no contracts.
No contracts, okay? And there are certain players in that team who cannot play without those contracts. So I think they are heading to very hard times because the players will not want to play, and if they are playing, they're not going to give what? They're 100%. Unless Freedom can pull up a magic trick. You know, he has his magic tricks that he pulls up sometimes.
At the moment, Jeff Nyange decided that the men's team and everything is now the responsibility of his co-partner. He is taking over the academy and the junior team, which is in the lower division. That is what he is going to be managing. Then the ladies team, the JKL Lady Dolphins and the JKL men are handed over
to Freedom. So they're heading for hard times. But I will say this. It is a good thing for Warriors basketball.
Oh, Warriors now has players that they can sign.
I mean, they were left with no team. Now they can sign our own team.
Because now you have an entire squad of 15 to 16 players who have no contracts.
Exactly.
So all they need
and they're good players.
They're very good players. All they need are release letters from the manager
and they sign. And Warriors has another team. You see that, So it's a good thing for Warriors.
Going on to our national basketball teams, the Gazelles. Prior to the start of the show, Arnold Katabi, Vice President in charge of marketing, confirmed to me that the men's team, our Silverbacks, will be traveling on Monday. They head to Morocco, where they will be having a camp ahead of our first game, which will be against still Morocco, then the second one against Cape Verde. The good thing is, if we're able to win our first game, then we actually don't even need to play the second game. There's no need to make the trip down there. For the ladies, confirmation has not yet been made on when they will travel. So just looking at the ladies team that was selected, Flavio Kecho from JKL Lady Dolphins, Ekon Brenda, still from JKL, Zaina Lokwech, still from JKL, Hopa Kelo, Evelyn Nachi Yinji, Stella Oyela, Slivia Nakazibwe from KCCA Leopards, Letitia Wall from KCCA Leopards, Abigail Priscilla from UCU Lady Cannons, Akon Rose from UCU Lady Cannons, and Sharon Cherabo from the KIU Rangers. So, okay, what is your take on the selection of our Gazelles team?
No, I like the selection. The good players. In fact, I was not surprised. I talked to someone about Letitia. That girl put on work. You know, it was... I could even now say, no, you can't. That girl has to be even starting 5. I'm sure it's going to be. But the rest, the squad is okay.
The squad is okay.
Yes, very okay.
In my personal view, Emma, I believe we're still lacking when it comes to the paint. Our front players, I'm not seeing us struggling for those boards and actually cleaning them up, getting those rebounds. and you know that that is going to be very key when you are playing transitional basketball.
Yeah.
You need to get those balls and you need to get the ball running again. Now, if
Yeah.
you're out-muscled down there, even the point guards are going to have a hard time trying to create scoring options.
Yeah, I mean, we've got play teams like South Sudan, and you know the average height of South Sudan is really crazy. So it's going to be a hard thing for us, but it also depends on the style of basketball you're playing. Remember, there's a time the Houston Rockets decided to play small ball.
Yeah,
Okay.
they fielded 4 guards.
Yeah, 4 guards, one big man.
One center.
Yeah. So if that is the direction we're heading to, and we're going to play small ball, it might help us. Okay. I don't know what the coaches are thinking about, but according to me, in my coaching capacity,
You
when
coach a ladies team.
when you have a team like that, okay, you play small ball because there are certain teams you cannot compete with when it comes to height. Okay, and also the issue of strength. When you're playing a team like Kenya, those ladies are strong. You can't really,
The agility.
yes, they are agile. We can't really
Yeah.
compare.
Yeah,
Okay,
40 minutes of
of hard basketball,
play.
hustle play.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to find a way of working around your team, seeing the kind of manpower you have, and using it. But just like Super said, Letitia Award. Okay, been watching her for some time. She has been playing very good basketball, and I'm really glad to see that they've included her in the national team. It's about time, for certain new faces to get there. And I believe that she's going to be one of the pivotal people given a chance, if given a chance to play. Okay, so the team is okay. I just think we have a very small window to do work because it's starting next month.
Starting next
Qualifiers.
month on the 12th.
Yeah.
That is when our ladies will be down in Kigali for
Yeah.
the Afro basketball. But then they were supposed to start training this
Last week
actually on Friday.
Yeah.
However, that wasn't able to happen, and even the residential camp, reliably informed by FUBA itself, has not yet been confirmed, and by Mavita Ali, who is the head coach of the Gazelles. They are waiting for communication from the federation on when that is going to happen. Now, we are going to be up against teams like Rwanda, who are already in camp in the same arena where they are actually going to be playing.
Yeah.
What are our chances when it comes to winning?
We have good chances of winning. We have played these ladies before. Okay. Basically,
The last time we played Okello was just in Lugogo here. That is 2 years ago, and we lost. You remember that very well. Huh? Egypt took us to school when we almost thought that we were there. Now we are going to be away from home. The team does not have the 6th man cheering them on. What is your take?
The advantage you're having, I can say in our continent, like now, if a country comes to shop in our country, like now they want players, because now, like last year, but I think most of Ugandan players went and played in Rwanda.
Yes.
That means we are there again. So we should now make the players believe that we are better, even if we are going for away games. Because usually guys are team, hey, we're playing Kenya, they are physical like that. But the moment you say, now if they are coming to show this side, that means you can do better. But the challenge now, the way even Emma said, is all about preparation. We are not prepared, so we can't go and.
We're not yet
there's no miracle there.
Other countries are already in camp. When you check onto their sites and their social media pages, they're already in camp.
I'm following up even. That's why even I think Mayenga coach, he went back early because they are Kenyans, but here nothing for him left. I think 2 weeks back they have started.
Yeah, they already started.
But here we have not. So that's my worry.
And you play actively, so does the discipline of personal training, because Coach Mavita Ali was talking about the issue that the girls, I'm talking to them, and each one is putting in personal effort. But speaking to me, I would just like, if I called me on phone and I would say, no, I'm already there, I'm here, just give me 5 minutes. But actually, when I'm still in the comfort of my home. So a coach will call the player, but the player may not actually be doing that. How does a coach get to manage this, to ensure that a player is doing personal training and personal initiative, knowing that they are actually being named on the national team?
You know, that is a very hard thing. You know, personal discipline is very hard, as you've said it. You know, you can send out a program and say, okay, this is what you need to be doing at home. But you do realize that being at home has a lot of elements that will actually stop you from doing what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Yeah. And that discipline to wake up in the morning or take off some time to actually, you know, put in some work for basketball or, you know, keep your body fit. People will do it for 1, 2 days, 3 days, and then, you know, it will go away. So
then the steam and
yeah,
the excitement
it all
will wear
goes.
off.
Yeah. So as a coach, that is when you need to be really inspirational and motivational. Okay, you need to paint a picture for them that they need to strive for something, right? You say, okay, you know what, this is the goal, this is what we need, but if you're not doing your part, okay, then it's going to be really hard for us to what? Achieve.
Yes.
And it has to be a daily thing. It's not I call you today, then after 3 days I call you again. No. If practice, let's say we have a program that says at 6 a.m. everyone in their different houses is supposed to do this. If it means getting on a Zoom call and ensuring, okay, that everyone is on the same page, you do that, okay? Because at the end of the day, the results are going to show when you go for the what? For the games. Yeah. So as a coach, take it as a very serious thing. Motivate your players, but also keep them what? Accountable.
Keep them accountable
Yes.
for their responsibilities.
Yes, we have technology these days. There's really no excuse. Yeah, so you should keep the players accountable every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Silverbacks, 12 players were summoned, 12 players were named. Jimmy Enabu, who is the captain of the team, Tony Dweliva, James Okello, Benjamin Komakech, Titus Odeke, Robinson Opong, Eric Ruaire, that is, he's from Canada, so is Robinson.
Yeah.
Keran Ziwa is also from Canada. Jedi Mohamed is from the USA. That is Haji Muhammad Sandru's son. Yes, and Gang John is from Denmark. Ishmael Wainwright from France. And Arthur Kaluma from USA. That is the team that is going to be representing Uganda as the Silverbacks. Okay, what is your take on our local-based selection of players before we go to the foreign-based players?
You know, this debate will continue going on. So they say if you want to play national team, you have to play for City Oil.
So is it the same thing with the ladies? If you want to play for national team,
you have to be part of JKL. Because
ladies, it was coming that,
no,
but
City Oil has 4 players from the 5 local-based. The other one, Titus, is from UC. Titus Odeke is from UC. So the debate is, if you have to be on the national team,
yes, you have to play for City Oil.
Because the 3 other local-based players who were dropped from the previous selection were Fayed Bale, who was from UCU, Joseph Ikong, who is part of City Oil team, and Cesar Chizito, who is also City Oil. So the debate is, you have to be part of City Oil.
But I can say they're doing.
What creates a rift? Don't other teams have talented players enough? Do they have players who are disciplined? Do they have players who can match up to the competitiveness of the standards at Afro basketball?
They have, but what I can say is all about management, because I had when they divided the management, like national team
steering committee.
Yes, that's where the problem came. Okay. So you can't expect me to put on money on someone who I'm going after is going to be effective with another part.
It's going to be going somewhere.
Yes.
So you have to pick from your own sample.
Yes. That is it. I can say that's my view for what is happening in selection. But again, the players who have been selected also they deserve. There's nothing like they're good. They're good players.
Yeah.
There's an issue, Emma, of same faces, and online on Facebook there was a discussion between 2 particular players, Flavio Kesho and Benjamin Komakech. There was a banter, I would call it banter, and sarcasm, and of course how people are relating it, but of course the message is right there written. who gave them a license to be on the national team, that every single time they are selected, they have to be there? Isn't it time enough for us as a country or as a team to get continuity and actually change like other teams are doing? Your perspective.
I mean, if someone is on the national team, then they deserve to be on the national team. Okay, we're talking about players like Flavio Kecho and Ben Komakech. These are very experienced players. Okay, and every team really needs what? Experience and depth when it comes to such tournaments. Okay, and the other thing is, for those who are complaining, why haven't we raised enough good players to take their what?
To take their
position.
spot.
Okay, because I can't put someone in that spot who's not worthy of being in that what? That spot. Okay, so instead of us going on and rambling about A, B, C, D, I think what we should do is go back and start developing players who can actually take the place of the guys who are there now. I remember the issue with, it was the same thing with Stephen Omoy. People are saying, oh, Omoy has been on the national team for too long.
For forever, decade
but the man was performing.
Yeah.
Okay, I think if he didn't get the injury he had, he would still be performing on that national team, because there is no one to replace him. So that is a problem that us as a federation, us as a basketball fraternity have to deal with. Let us bring up players who we can rely on to take those people's what? Places, because I believe at a certain point they also need rest.
Yeah.
Definitely, because your body wears down.
Yeah.
It is Slam Dunk Basketball Talk. We are live on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube channel. Feel free to send your comments, your views. We were discussing the national team of Uganda, the Gazelles and the Silverbacks. We return after this short break.
in order to understand and know better what is happening in this side of the world. And the same thing we would like to do trying to dig inside as much as possible into African culture and the African music. So the invitation is open to everybody that wants to discover that Latin American music is more than salsa, cha-cha-cha, and dancing, you know.
What motivates me to do the kind of music I do, it's the journey. It's the journey, the challenges in society.
Welcome back. It is Slam Dunk Basketball Talk. Felix Opali is my name. In studio, I'm with Francis Okello and our co-host Emmanuel Ateng. We've been discussing the national team, that is the Gazelles and the Silverbacks. Emma, there is talk about the selection of the foreign-based players and why we need them so much. Part of the discussion runs around the circle of, can't we, as a country, use local-based players and then we groom them even if we lose? Then the other big discussion is about the issue of finances. The National Council of Sports came out earlier this week, that is through their General Secretary, Dr. Patrick Ogwell, and stated that they are cash-strapped and do not have money to give to the Federation of Uganda, Federation of Uganda Basketball Association. Now that is for the Gazelles and for the Silverbacks. So those two issues, first the foreign players and the issue of finances, which always and has always come up.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that has always been there. It's not a new thing. Every time the national teams are getting ready to go somewhere, that financial monster jumps in the way. And it's no different now. I think the only different dynamic is that we're in a lockdown. And you know, we can say the finances are not really there even after the budget has, you know, been passed and there's some money for sports. Yeah. NCS says that the money that was given to basketball and other sports
was used, the money that was given to basketball, according to National Council of Sports, was for the other tournament, which was cancelled
because we didn't play, and yeah, there was a COVID issue.
There was players tested positive.
Yes. I think at a certain point we have to consider that sports, not only basketball, is an important, you know, piece in any country.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yes. And if we're looking at sports from one direction of, oh, we just need to win trophies and all these things, that is not a good way. Sports in itself plays a very big role in development. Okay. And development takes what? Finances.
Yeah.
All right. Us taking a national team to play in another country, to qualify for, you know, Afrobasket and all these things, it gives us mileage and it also gives us visibility into basketball development and also community development. I mean, look at what the NBA does with its community development programs. If we do not have that visibility as a country, we cannot get those programs down here in Uganda. Okay, so I think it's high time that we start to actually invest in our national, not giving money to national teams. Let's call it now what? Investment. Let us invest in the national teams so that for the future we can raise up these local-based players that we are talking about. Okay, not taking away from the international players. Every team needs international players. If you look at Mali, Nigeria, most of their players are those who are given scholarships to study out and they come back to play for the
Nigeria even doesn't have a basketball league.
It doesn't have a basketball league.
They have not had one for 5 years.
Exactly, which is a system that we should really adopt, you know, take players out there, then bring them back to study. But we cannot do this until the NCS actually invests money in what?
In
the
sport.
Yes.
Okay, the take of foreign-based players when we are going for these major tournaments, Afro basketball, or even when we go for different championships? Should we stick to the local best players, or should we include the foreign best players?
Both ways work. I can say we should include because of experience, and those guys, they come with different experience. They come even to motivate the players who are here. So it has advantage and disadvantage, of course. But the most important thing is we have to include them. It really put morale. I can say, like in Kenya, you see when they brought
Tyler.
He changes a lot. So guys even play now different basketball. So now we bring the only thing is bring a bigger number. It somehow, like now you're bringing 7, then you're only picking 4. That one I get at least balance.
To balance. The 12 have 6 local best.
Yes, that one is better.
But then there is also the argument that the level of competitiveness and the exposure at such tournaments like Afro basketball is totally different. That is why these players are needed. What do you have to say about that?
That one I agreed, because now it depends on the facilities. Now you see now what happened. You are playing Lugogo, you're going to play in Rwanda.
So you're going to play in a different arena, a 10,000 seat arena.
Yes. The surface is what's your use of YMCA, KIU, so yes, that's why.
You even have to have different shoes, because you have to have indoor shoes. You're not going to use outdoor sneakers.
Every time you have to look up for your name.
You're seeing yourself on the big screen. You're looking at your stats. You don't have to ask.
So those are the small challenges.
What is happening?
Those are small challenges which we really need. So if maybe we play, like, we are near Rwanda. You can, any tournament for Rwanda, guys go like that.
So that they get acclimatized and get used to everything. That is brilliant. Remember to give us your comments, your views, your remarks, your thoughts, your sentiments about what we're discussing, what you'd want the National Team Steering Committee, or what you'd hope for, or what you think is being done right, what you think is not done right. Okay. Currently, the league is on stop. So is every other sport discipline, like basketball. KCCA have played 6 games, won 2, lost 4. Prior to the show the previous week, we were having a conversation with Robert Mugabe, and he was telling me he's already in Rwanda. Right now he's the head coach of Tigers basketball club, and he told me it's entirely about development and improving himself as a coach in his basketball career. That puts you in the position of elevation, which you are elevated to. Congratulations on becoming the head coach of KCCA Panthers. The league is yet to end. Please run us through how you're going to fit into that position of getting KCCA Panthers to the playoffs and possibly to the championship.
Yeah, in fact, I should thank Mugabe. He has really showed me a lot of things, and the good thing of working with such a coach is he doesn't. For us, we don't call head coach or assistant. We all coaches. So and most of these, there's no difference. And most of the roles we could do.
Difference in angels.
No, we are all coaches, but we have a boss.
Yes. Okay, the post is there, of course, and the post usually comes in terms of first in terms of the salary, not the title, the salary. Somehow, so we respect the head coach, of course. Any call he has to talk, but in now the role, even now, it came to my surprise. By the way, I didn't know that he was leaving. He had informed the managers before informing me, because he had told me, I want you to be here. And most of the decision that side, when it comes to coaching, we could play roles, like you start first, then I finish. And we discuss, like, now let me handle this, you handle this.
The first and second quarter.
Yes, session.
And the rest of the
game. And even when it comes to first selection, the team player selection, there are no new players. We decide, all of us. I want that player. I can testify half of the players, like we share roles. He brought half, I brought half. KCC players, like, first we were only 12.
Oh,
Then
you filed 12 players.
12 players.
But the federation gives you 18. You still have 6 slots which are blank.
The time frame and somehow finance didn't. We have less budget. No, the budget then they
So
bring.
what happens? We players get injured.
It really affected us, by the way, because others were sick. It really affected us in. That's why we can say we lost the first game because of that. Most of our players injury, others were sick. You know, had gone for quarantine. We had 2 cases, and first we were honest. Guys were hiding. To say the truth, guys were hiding on the case.
Falcons was on a deathbed, and against KCCA, it got a lifeline. It was able to win. How were you able to lose the game?
Okay, I think that game.
It's a good thing we're in studio with someone who was on the
Yes.
other team that inflicted a loss to you. So how did you lose to Falcons?
I can say we can
Why-
even
why-
we can
why
say
was
our
not that
preparation,
right?
we didn't prepare well, and even the fixture didn't favor us. We played 2 games. Even up to now, people are complaining. I don't know. At least now, after this COVID, I don't know what they're going to plan. We played 2 games back to back.
Saturday
Then
and
we,
Sunday.
yes. Then we start for 3 weeks. No game.
That is time for recovery.
Eh?
Recovery, working on your errors, working on your plays.
So
Players also working on their personal deficiencies. Let's say shooting on the line, shooting outside the arc. I believe, in my view,
momentum.
those 3 weeks is a good thing.
No, as a player, momentum of getting the game, the touch, you usually lose track. If you can see, you look at teams which have stayed for 2 weeks minus playing, when they come back, they lose.
They're not to the same level.
Yes.
Emma, going back to that game, what did Falcons do right? Falcons had gone, I believe, 4 games beaten in a row until played KCCA. What did Falcons do right that day?
You know, the funny thing is that game, I think KCCA was up 18
we
points.
led-
18
18
points.
points. Yes,
That-
18
How
points.
did you blow off an 18-point lead? That is unacceptable.
Yeah, well.
That one, I think, we
18 points.
we felt we were playing. These guys, Falcons, change
The
their
tempo.
tempo and change their defense. You get it? They were playing man. They started zone. You get it? For us, we got confused from there. We realized it as a coaches. Also, we say our mistake was us. We realized it in the last third quarter. These guys are playing zone.
But you'd see
Whereby now-
you'd see how they were lighting up.
No, it was
They played the traditional 2-3 or 3-2.
No, it was
they
a
were
wide zone.
wide zone,
Very
like
wide.
some,
Oh.
not zone complete. They were playing full court, but someone is coming in the ball like he's playing man to man. When it reached the D, he stops.
They spread out.
They spread out. You get it? So it's almost confusing. Still one realize, but again it was too late. So we were just going out Sisto,
So
whereby
you,
now
you, you weren't scoring in the third quarter.
Yes,
That's how
we
you were
weren't
able
scoring.
to cut down an 18-point margin.
Yes.
Plus, they had me on the other side. So
And he was on fire that day.
I'm going to look for the stats to find out what he scored and how many turnovers he had. He could have
No,
had
Emma, I can say Emma helped
he
them in
could have
that
had
game.
18 points with 7 turnovers.
but did
No, that
you?
game he played. That game he played. And what I can say also, these guys had target. You know, mentor, when you target teams, like they knew, we're going to beat KCCA, we're going to beat Power. They were just targeting teams. You're going to beat Power. So that, even if you don't train, but you come and train, you say, I'm going. There's a winner.
You come with that energy.
I'm sure I'm going to beat.
And first, we were ready because we knew those guys, they have nothing. In fact, they have nothing to lose. But they're coming with a lot of force, which they did. Get it?
KCCA, the ladies, quite are doing way above the men. They are champions before. KCCA Panthers have never lifted the FUBA championship. They're just waiting. They've not even been close to being bridesmaids. This journey that you're going on, that you're already on, how are you changing this?
First, I can say it is the approach. The approach of the head coach Mavita he came up with a good approach of getting young players, players who listen. Last season, he had players who were not listening. They were fighting because now you can't be the head coach. Then when I was a player, we both playing, then I won the championship for you. You are even in the bench. Because such a players who are there who are good. But now you got the young players who listen and they have that bonding. You get it? And when they brought Claire, that bonding now became more stronger because Claire is a very experienced player who completely, you know, there's a game, I think that after that they banned her for
after the game against
JKL, they banned her for 2 games. But Claire
she was the difference in that game.
She came, but every time she has to move with the team, dressed, warm up with the team, then put on back and just start. Can you honestly? That approach is when I got surprised because you know, if it was me like
the culture,
I can't even. I would just put on my go and just chill in mood. But this one, that means that's how it's supposed to be. Where he came, I think which he was playing. I think in.
He played in Portugal.
Yes, I think Portugal. I think the mentor that he came with this side, it really changes KCC, I can say. Which I guarantee, I can't read live TV, but I guarantee it is this year for KCCA.
As we're going on and winding up, give us and our viewers a summary of your basketball coaching career. How did Francis Okello get to being head coach of KCC Panthers?
It was a let's say before I started from Mombasa. I finished in a school called Serani. That's where I got scholarship, and since then I've never paid school fees. I've never paid school fees. I started playing because first in Kenya we stopped in P8. So I got my first scholarship when I was in P8. I've not even joined, and my first coach was Ojuku, who is now the coach of KPA. And luckily for us, we were in a gym. We call it a gym. That's where our parents were staying, so it's just a walking distance. Football in the evening, basketball started at 7 up to 10. That's when in fact, it's the one who inspired me to play basketball.
The love of the game.
Then I moved to Shimba Hills. Then when I came to Saku, that's when again I got more. I studied only for 1 year.
You go to Saku and you are there for only 1 year?
1 year, senior 6. When I finished, I didn't win any championship, and we reached up to quarterfinal. National. So I felt bad because that's the thing I wanted to achieve. So I had to stay there as a coach, and the second year I won national as a coach. Now.
Which year was that?
That is 2009. 2009.
Saku Secondary School won the national championship.
Then we won Sprite. That time it was Sprite.
Yes, the Sprite tournament.
Then 2010 we were runners up. Then again runners up 2011. 2012 won. That's when we had Agutu, Arthur, and Watcher. That's when we won the championship. That's when now there Freedom saw me. He called me for JKL. That was my first coach NBA. It was kind of hard for me, but I maneuver. Then from there I relaxed. I was still coaching Saku. As in the league, we won also championship, D-League 2 times. That is 2012 and 2013. Then runners up 2018 also. That's when I got another opportunity of KCCA. I went there as assistant coach. I was with the Bunnies, but
there was some.
Yes, there was some difference. The approach, the friction.
Everyone had a different philosophy of doing things.
Yes. Okay, it was about players again. You know, players also can contribute a lot of things. So we were almost biased with players. This one has on players, I had on players, but because they were saying, in fact, they call it KCC over foreign Kenya. Kenya was something, they put it Kenya because they were foreigners. One day we had like 7 guys from Kenya. So that's why the friction came.
So there were divisions, camps.
Yes, there were camps. So we're not performing well. Yeah, so he decided to part away. Him, because he wanted to now to rectify some things, but he said, let me part away. That's why now he say, that's why they brought Mugabe. Okay, to Mugabe, so we had to decide. You go as the head coach, or I say, okay, I respect you, because even I saw Mugabe when he was playing, I was still young. You know, some people just say, God plan things in different ways. Now we are here with him as a coach. So now opportunity has come now. Now I'm ready to face everything. And the players, I say the players are the same training, same place. There is nothing. I know the players. It's only to follow. And we're still in touch with the coach.
Still in touch with the coach and getting this question goes to the both of you, but I'll start with Emma. Balancing playing and also being a coach. Okello plays for YMCA Hamsters and is a coach of KCCA. You play for Falcons basketball team and you're also a coach of Angels.
Yeah.
How do you create that semblance, starting from you?
Well, it's a good thing that practice days are on different days. So Angels practice days are not the same practice days as Falcons. And when they do clash, you really have to make a decision, okay, on where to go. But I think there's a beauty in being a player and also being a coach, because when you're coaching, you're also seeing it from the player's perspective. So I believe it makes you a better coach. So for me, it's not been a very hard thing. Okay, it has actually been a good thing, because it has given me the opportunity to keep playing, but also to get to a point whereby I'm coaching the girls and using the experience that I'm gaining through playing to also push them to where they're supposed to be. So for me, it hasn't really been hard, but maybe Okello has a different perspective.
How do you balance?
Mine is all about. I usually, most of the game, if I have a game, YMCA, I invite even my players to see, because they usually make fun of me. Bench player, they bench you because I usually play the last 5 minutes.
When you put on the YMCA jersey, you're a bench player. Yet you're a head coach of a team in the national basketball league. How ironic.
Because I respect this, because if we appoint someone, sometimes I take over. I just put on a top, then I just take over the coach when things goes bad, because I know. Because you enter, you make me assist. But now it's me. I because I still missing. I want to play. They say I've not got that age of retirement. The only thing is I took the coaching role
more serious
and too early. So now you see, hey, man.
You still have it in your legs to actually play. That's why now, and I love basketball. That's passion. I'm reading here through the comments or from the viewers, and as we wind up, one of the key questions actually that I'm looking at is from a gentleman called Semuga Fred, who would want to know, KCCA does not actually update its social media handles. Would like to see some of the players on their Facebook page. Why is that not happening?
Yeah, that one.
That's coming from Semuga Fred.
Oh, that one I can. The problem came this year after they changed management, by the way, because Andrew was the chairman, then the assistant chairman was Tom Chambringa. So when they changed the management, things started. So we are up to now. We don't have someone who's active in social media. That's
so as a head coach, that falls part in your docket, management, administrative structure. What are you doing?
But I don't think that's part of his job.
It's not part of his job. It's management.
It's all entangled together.
No, it's management, but we're working on it. It's management.
The team also speaks a lot about the image of the coach.
Yes, but you can't tell the coach to start posting stuff on social media. His job is to coach.
It's a duty area. He could do it. Emma, I believe you can handle the social pages of Angels basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, if
in your group, in your personal page, I can, but not in
their Instagram, their Facebook, their Twitter handle, and he can do it with his phone, not even on the tablet.
Professional is not allowed. Professional is not allowed.
No, but you have to multitask.
It's true.
They teach us that.
But we're going to handle that. We just got some.
Because I
problems.
was looking through most of the comments, others were just commenting different issues, but that actually stood out.
Yes.
Why is it that the fans who support KCCA cannot see, let's say, they don't have a website?
You have the
Facebook?
website, yes, we have
I believe
everything.
We have a website, but which
Yes.
has not been updated in quite a couple of times.
Yes, yes.
So
But
people
only
want to know-
basketball is only, I think, this year. It got, but the whole of last season, they were updating. In fact, even it's just started when these changes came. That's when things started going.
As we wind up this afternoon, sport coming back and also basketball mostly, what changes do you think the federation should ensure that are in place so that when the president gives a leeway for sport to resume, we as a basketball fraternity are not still put on a stop by National Council of Sports?
First of all, it's about the test, the SOP. We're following the SOP, I can say.
How many
But
times have KCCA players?
like for us, we have said it 4 times. To be honest, 4 times. And we test because they were told we are affected. So we played, we test, then we played 2 games, then we said for 1 week. That means it was a must to get tested.
Emma, how many times did Falcons get tested? He has to think about
Yeah,
it.
just-
he has to even pass through.
It was only once. You
Once.
imagine.
So, as a basketball community, we are also to blame.
Yes. Yeah. That's why for us, we didn't register with FUBA. So we're doing KCCA on our own test. KCCA was the one in charge.
You registered through the authority.
Yes. So
And tested through the authority.
everything
So you
vaccinates
submitted to
everyone.
the federation just
Yes.
the results that
Yes.
came out.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Why isn't Falcons also going that path, testing from a different entity to ensure the safety of the players and to ensure the continuity of the game?
We actually do. If one of our players feels that they're not fine and they need that test or treatment, the management always takes care of that particular player. But as a whole, sometimes it's really expensive because most of the teams actually don't have sponsors and so it gets hard. And support individual players.
Okay. Mr. Francis Okelo, thank you so much for gracing us with your time on Slam Dunk Basketball. As we wind up, your last comment to the viewers out there watching both here in Uganda and in the diaspora.
Keep on supporting Uganda basketball. Keep on watching. The issue I know which is that COVID has really affected us. In fact, I can say it has affected coaches.
It has affected the
Coaches.
whole country and
Yes,
all
but
sectors.
yes, all sector. But so we pray for the best.
Pray for the best.
Yeah.
And your prediction, who do you think is winning the NBA? The Suns are on fire.
Yes, NBA, of course, we can say the Bucks are the one winning.
The Bucks.
The Bucks are the
Emma,
one winning.
your last word as we wind up this afternoon.
Mine is just, it's not even basketball related. We're all going through a pandemic right now, and we need to keep ourselves and each other safe if we're going to make it through this. Make sure you keep to the SOPs, but also say a prayer for those who have lost loved ones. And just, we're in this together, okay? And we can't get out of it together, so let's all play our part.
Thank you so much. It has been the Saturday of 26th of June 2021. My name is Felix Opal. Have a blessed afternoon and a great weekend.
Young people at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
live on HTV, live on FB, Instagram, and Twitter, plus YouTube. I'm Chisoja.
I'm Kasule Grace.
I'm Sachi Brighton. Lukanga Khaled.
Semakule Elijah.
I'm Samuel Hillary.
And we are the Accordion Gents. We sing a cappella music. By the way, let us take you through our brief history to how we became the Accordion Gents. Banai. Tuava wala. Tuvude wala. People, we came far. we came from far. We came far.
We are still going far.
We formed this group and we started in high school. I was in Form 3. My brother Kasule Grace was in Form 1. Yeah, Form 1. He was in Form 1. He was still a baby. Then our brother here, the muscular guy, was also still a baby. And the guy was Simakole, right? Was still in there. But he was in Form 2. And our Besa, the handsome boy. Yeah, he was also in Form 2. I was the bigger one. Then our brother Brighton joined us lately, but we are so blessed to have him in the group. Yeah, I do beatboxing. That's how I got to know that I have a talent to do a cappella music. And my brother Kasule Grace on the extreme right does lead. Some people call it soprano, but we call it lead because he leads the song. Then our brother Brighton, the second one from right, does lead, alto, and tenor. The third one is called Lukan Khaled. He does tenor, back lead, but he likes tenor the most.
Wow.
Yeah. Asemba Elite Pro
Manager. That big
He's
name.
the bro, he does the music stuff, organization, everything we do in music. Yeah, it's called up. And the woofer, the handsome boy, the one I'm seated with here at the back. He does the bass. Nela, guys wanted to bring some other guys. I told them, I have my guy. They call him Onyokoro Hirare. By the way, tulina different responsibilities in group okubeera nga tusigala nga tuli kitole nga tuli wamu. I formed the group. By no comparison, baby man,
The big dog.
yeah. Our man on the extreme right is the chairman. It's called Kasole Grace, the chairman. Oh no. I hope this is our sister. Then Caleb works on the voices. Does
Hello.
I will go like that. It tells you that that's a chord, that's there. Then the guy on the left is called Elijah.
Nerike limu Semakula.
Organization y'enyimba zaffe zonna. Bwe tukuba omuti n'owera nga muti yabeera abikoze.
Lwakuba nze mba sigukubye.
Nanti gwe abakituwadde tuwete bwe tutyo.
By the way, let us sample you the sample of a cappella music.
Oh na 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 understanding of the mysteries of the Almighty. I am nothing without love, love. My God is love. I makes the world go round. Love, love. My God is love. I makes the world go round.
You see, the devil is a liar. He wants to divide and rule. Send you to the north, send you to the south. He wants to fight, he gives on empty, gives you boundaries. You're black and you're white, you shall not Pamela, you Zulu, everybody you got love, love, love.
My God is love, I makes the world go round.
Love, love.
But my God is love, I makes the world go round.
Let's give them another song. One more.
Ta-da-da, ta-da-da,
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
ta-da-da,
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu, analipenda leo kuliko jana, balazi hazibarikishi, si kama binadamu hadilikie, analipenda leo kuliko jana. Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu, analipenda leo kuliko jana, balazi hazibarikishi, si kama binadamu hadilikie, analipenda leo kuliko jana, kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana, aya jana, jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana.
Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, Bwana ni chongozi wangu, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Karakara wasakufiki, ananipenda kuwa amani, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, Bwana ni chongozi wangu, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Karakara wasakufiki, ananipenda kuwa amani, ananipenda leo kuliko jana.
Kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana, kuliko jana, jana, kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana.
Yeah, and that's what they call a cappella music. You do all using your mouth. I was doing the beats, and by the way, solo gamba umwana bada kuba beats chechi no. Kati obenda chowila as bass eh. Oyo. Now there is what they call bumps. When the warrior those are bumps. I think Kalibu me semaphore me mukulu grace msokulaga abantu tebaita bumps bali megamba bumps.
Guno mukwano Yesu gwalina bwe ndowooza ku birungi ebyo by'azzakola bindaga okufaayo kwa Yesu. Ndowooza ku birungi ebyo by'azzakola ebirabo ebyo by'azamba bindaga okufaayo kwa Yesu. Kirala bumaze ekyo.
Chemwele tebaita nam area vamp. Yeah. Let's go for a short break. We shall return. Yeah. Stay tuned. Welcome back from a short break. Welcome back, Pam. Tuchaliwo. Live on HTV, House of Talent. Sandy Rice. You must follow Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even subscribe on YouTube. Yeah. By the way, Penna Twina talents. We don't only have singing talents. Buno tupenda tuimba. No msajja wa tabu nnyo konera bali bamuita Messi. Neka height okalaba. The height is Messiology. Yeah. But he's informed by doing make asoma. Bampita Jisto Jahadi. Nela I'm a doctor loading. Soon 2025 I will be a doctor. Baninde. Our brother Kasole Grace. The guy just started senior folk at Cuba. And I took out when I get a chemist. Nela password they are chemists. Kusoma. The guy called Hillary, where you get the contact. Hillary Naya Asoma, we are all students. Elijah Asoma, we are all students. Therefore, all youths there. Customer winner talent. When he said that, Toina koma kweyo. Onyambo singati yaita manyi luzungu singata so akugera na president Museveni motoka bambo so tiri naye bali bogera luzungu si Uganda
naye motoka
therefore if you're there when you have a talent obo yimbo samba kapira ozina
right, it's better off than okubeera eringa okuba butali. In fact, n'ekirala in case nti obadde osamba kapiira n'omenyeko okugulu bw'obanga obadde tosoma nga tolinayo mulimu mulala gwonna gw'omanyi kati oba ogenda kuddawa muganda wange abo tubakwasiza kale bw'ajja bayigiriza okuyimba.
Therefore, you should use your talent mixed with education. Tolina kuleka kusoma. Education is important, but also God is very important in your life.
Yeah.
For example, living up, education and talent. God follows.
You put him first.
Yeah. And by the way, in everything, to be any challenges. Chimanya abasamba kapira beera challenges ngono tasobola kuba mutwe what have challenges in every challenge nela as the accordions we also have zibs so abamba selections register zibs nenga beera bizibu agazibu
tamza kuingereza.
Brother Kasule, you remember when we were going to in fact, was it LTV? We walked from Kawempe to what to Chisasi. On the foot, simple no kapiti picha wakagali nenda kage. Chala luna ne mungana wangono na jamo bongaji. Ata muzaka gezi.
Ana neka kola sikari kocha.
Yeah. Therefore, let us give you one sample of gospel music.
Bwendo woza omusa laba mukama kwe yafirako bugagamona o
singa mbadde n'ensi zonna neziwayo Yesu gy'oli zonna tezandisasude banja lyange lyenkanawo banja lyange lyenkanawo banja lyange
by the way, like the bond we have of where tuchali one, it's also known agamba to isiga kali katonda near to we serve God kali. Our mission is to serve God.
Buliche tukola tukulembeza katonda.
Nze ngamba we are brothers in Christ kati ekyo kyeka kakitwalewo ekityo.
By the way, another advice to the youths: oba olieyo nga olina kyosobola okukola, kkiriza munno osobola. Prosperity comes with a determination. Tekijja nga kale bangambe nibagamba nogundi gweoyimba nogamba naye nga as if nawe tumanyi muno oyimba jase kitiibwa kya Mukama, kitiibwa kya Mukama nga weyongeramu amaanyi n'okusoma, and even say no to violence.
Say yes to it.
Singa wana bakola obunyama
bouncer sikubeera bouncer omubiri gwa kika gwa kika.
Okay. To buy one song that motivates the youths out of a winner. One of them was not good. A winner.
Naye nga tetunnaba tulina okubategeeza nti ffenna in fact tetuli baluganda.
We are not brothers, we are not cousins.
Namu Yesu tuli baluganda.
Brothers in Christ.
Chokola bono bamuyita onyokolo zibapita kizito.
Onyokolo.
Tetubangako baluganda naye nga kyetukola kitufuula abooluganda. Abamu bayinza okugamba baluganda bazadde kyabazaala we abaana we bati bwana mukaaga nga tekuli afaanana munne
n'amanyi ogawulira
ono onyokoli
leka naawe
ate mbulukanga
kasule
n'ensonga eyo atoba wina noza.
We dedicate this song to all youths from Mali. Some bakumana mali naye nga olina something to show.
Kwegambira nga y'owina.
Y'owina.
Lwakubanga kijja maaso
kagende.
Nkera ku makyane nerekereza ng'omutima omugazi era nze ne ngubikula ajagaliza ne bansibula Mukama ne musaba nnyo luno oluleme kusala biba byakalube n'emwange gyenkolera njiyayiya nnyo nsobola okubawo. I'm not stopping this thing till I lose my breath. I'm gonna keep hustling every night and day. 1 + 1 equals to 2. Jakuyiya mbola Atoba wina, ye kalemera go, aiya nyo, abanga Atoba wina, is never loser, or is a winner. Atoba wina, ye kalemera go, aiya nyo, abanga Atoba wina, is never loser, or is a winner. Ulabe sawe wedeyo, emikono jigenze, nengana zigenze. Abana baweze mikwano jigenze nesimize bende Toba wina Yeka giva echono chimanye Wina tapoera tabireka Apanga na iya What you believe is what you achieve Amode bontu koka Toba wina Yeye kalebera ko Ai anyo Apanga Toba wina loser or is a winner. Heart of a winner. Yeah, kalebera ko. Ai anyo. Abanga taba of a winner is never loser or is a winner. Heart of a winner. Yeah, kalebera ko. Ai anyo. Abanga taba of a winner is never loser or is a winner.
People at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
I say Javeri, she told me Baraka Jumbari, Javani Javati, Sewati, Kanawa Galusi, Alavi Kanawa Renzori, Javani Javati, Sewati. Oh, when I'm Mulabako, I do Yaka, your body was like fire. And girl, when I pull up a go, I do yaka. Say we love you till paka. And girl, I couldn't resist.
temwewunya nnyo zensi tuzikuba secular music naye tumukuba because we also work on wedding parties, birthday parties and kwanjula only okufa tetujja tujja yeah we come by the way, we as the accordion gents, we have a vision because a cappella music is not that much of a common art in Uganda and worldwide. Nena mundoza mugambe ati accordion gents bebani bebavuddewa bebafue it is us. Yeah, cut our vision our vision as the accordion gents Uganda is to make a cappella music known and also to make a cappella groups to be seen as artists. Nga onagamba ndaba Chameleon nga muyimbi ndaba Eddie Kenzo nga yeah we are also artists. Yeah, that's our vision, making a cappella music to be known by everyone and to be enjoyed by everyone and also to be learned by the ones who can learn a cappella music.
Inspiration.
We saw them on the sunrise on HTV. Yeah, House of Talent. Let's take it, right? And we are on the sunrise on HTV because it's a big thing. Let's take it. Yeah. By the way, buli omu gyali eyo alina gw'ayagala okutumirako kyemmanyi oliyo yabadde avaayo mukyala yagambe jajja mena ku HTV ani oyo kanyama semakula
yavudde omukyala eyo
infact buli omu yandiyogedde wajja ne bamanya nti bannaani
kanetandikireko ava mu kibuga nze nva mukireka house bagita the place of celebrities waikibenda nze nga mwenyini
ale kugamba
bakuyitani mpozi kasole
nze ndi mwana wakuno bana wali olaba awo nabweru ensibuko y'abaana abayimbi kasita obuka omwale wafe oba otuuse
omanye abasinga bagamba nsanga ku plot number eno plot number this naye nagamba nsanga ku mwala gw'ejjini
fe otusangawo ku kipande kyayonula awo
nze mbeera Kawempe sikwera
wavuddewa
manyi mbadde n'okukira respect Kawempe
kale kwegamba nze mbeera ndese
ndese
only the village here
ndese
neno ndese ekifo kisirifu
abagagga bonna babeere eyo kale
n'erinnya oliwulira semakireka ndese
ate sebo gindi
nze wootuuka emukono ewaffe oba otuuseeyo
ate kati obeera ewamu enyumba beereta mukono.
Yeah, I'm Chisto Jahad. Don't forget to follow. By the way, I have a Facebook page called Chisto Jahad. You can follow me on Instagram and even my Facebook page called Chisto Jahad. And also Accordion Gents as a whole. You follow Accordion Gents UG, Instagram Accordion Gents UG, Facebook page, and Accordion Gents UG, YouTube. You subscribe.
Bogenda noga following gonna jegali.
Gonna jegali.
Nayenga okusinga ddala Accordion Gents Kapela Uganda.
Yeah, and
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter,
SMSs,
mobile money, Tomara Mnaiga, WhatsApp.
Our number is 0701925696.
For any bookings, the number here, your WhatsApp, SMS.
We send special regards to our parents in everything.
Era n'emikwano tubatumiddeko. Friends, mendeseeyo akamba tumidde. Era bali live essaawa zino.
Yeah, and those who follow HTV, God bless. Yeah. Let's send down the chariot. This song is for you.
Roll down the chariot, let me ride. 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 Ride on King Jesus. Ride on King Jesus. Ride on the conquering King. I wanna go to heaven in the morning. Ride on King Jesus. Ride on King Jesus. Ride on the conquering King. I wanna go to heaven in the morning. I've been trying so hard. Roll down the chariot, let me ride. Roll down the chariot, let me ride. I've been trying so hard. Make it to the Bahamas. When I'm moving with you, just say so make it to the Bahamas. When I'm moving with you, roll down the chariot, let me ride. Roll down the chariot, let me ride. Roll down the chariot, let me ride. Let me ride. Roll down the chariot, let me ride. Roll down the chariot, let me ride. I say, roll down the chariot, let me ride. Let me ride. Roll down the chariot, let me ride. Roll down the chariot, let me ride.
Kati oba tuyimbe akaliwa.
Akaliwa.
Did Jesus talk to John? He spoke about John.
Yes, of course. Olikawo wonkolera, olikuwongo meketa. Ndowooza nnyo, simanyo banjo, lyondowooza nnyo, my love. Onsuliridde nnyo wabula, bimuli byatandise okkalira. Kusaba okyamuwalira, omutima ogulumya nnyo ntakaza. Abantu batandise olokopya, watandise okebera, obweyo nga wasudde eno. Nako ebikomando, since I'm never lonely. Jagala love story. Nako ebikomando, since I'm never lonely. Jagala love story. Wansula mu mukwano natamira, byoyitamu byonna biwulire eno. Ebiwooma buse mululuza, njoya kimu kulaba mukwano. Ebyo byowulira bagamba extra love, ab'ebigambo tobekweka, tebakusuuza kayakiko, sikukomerera kuba toli Yesu, tosiba mutima okusumulula lesu, era ngulaba kutulukuka buswa bagulikeko ekiwero ky'amalabu wansula mu mukwano natamira toyitamu byona biwulira eno ebiwooma kusemuluza toyakiwungulaba mukwano ebyo byowulira bagamba ab'ebigambo tobekweka tebakusuuza kayanziko emerera kuba toli yesu tosiba mutingo kusumulula lesu era ngulaba kutulukuka buswavu oba gulikeko ekiwero ky'amalabu nako ebikomando since I'm never lonely jagala love story nako ebikomando since I'm never lonely jagala love story
Yeah, that's the accordion, gents. Stay tuned. Be blessed. Bye-bye. By the way, as tetunabagenda, there is this song of Jesus made.
Jesus. Is it Jesus?
Jesus, your love is too much.
Kiko. Yeah. Okay.
Your love is kind. Your love is patient. You fill my heart with so much peace and joy. You're amazing, and you make my life feel brand new. You're amazing, and though you make my heart feel brand new. Jesus, you love me too much, too much, excess love. Jesus, you love me too much, too much, excess love.
Excess love. You love me too much, too much, excess love. Jesus, you love me too much, excess love.
Jesus, you love me too much, too much, excess love. Jesus, you love me too much, too much, excess.
People at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call I never call it Facebook. It's book face. Why are you on book face? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
In recent years, music has become the most important art form in Iceland, and apart from the classical musicians and singers, we have very many well-known pop musicians like Björk, who the whole world has fallen in love with.
My calling was folk music. I've been a folk artist, and that is what I'm still doing. I started by being an apprentice of the late Dr. Albert Sempeke.
Welcome to the CEO Bench. My name is Edio Kela. On this very particular afternoon or morning or evening, depending on which part of the world that you are in at the moment, we're in a lockdown situation, 42 days of UG lockdown. Crystal, how is it doing?
As if.
It looks like we are going to go into some full-blown stuff. We're not yet sure, but welcome to the CEO Bench.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and how have you been?
I've been good. I've been busy. I've been blessed. Yes, I'm also a little anxious regarding what's going to happen this evening. What our big man is going to tell us. You know, we all sit there like this, like, oh.
For this.
So, but yeah, life must go on between all the work that I do, my clients, radio as well, RX radio. Yeah, juggling, working.
It's a very interesting part of you for us to know, and of course we want to take this moment, first of all, welcome you to the CEO Bench, but to take you straight to, you know, getting to understand and to know you more, juggling too many things, radio, productions, and family, mother. I mean, who is Crystal in a nutshell?
Crystal.
Who are you? What are you?
Well, I'm a mom. First, because my children are with me till I die. Yes. Yeah. And then I'm a media personality. I'm a content creator. I am a foodie. I am, oh my gosh, I am a lover of life. And yeah, and I believe I have a great work ethic.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, Crystal as an individual, are you Ugandan?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes, I like that question. So if you're Ugandan, what are the values that define you as Ugandan, Crystal?
I love my country. I take every opportunity I have to promote my country, to share the beautiful things we have in our country. And I have a habit where whenever I'm shopping, I'm always checking labels. Always checking labels. And that person, they're like, oh, you know, there's this new product. I'm like, is it made in Uganda? So unless it's something that is not made here, chances are I'm going to try to, you know, support. and promote
Okay.
this beautiful country.
Okay. I want to take you to something a little bit more personal right now. You know, Crystal, as a child growing up, you know, tell me more about your family background and which part of this beautiful country do you come from? And, you know, some people think that you are Mzungu.
No!
Because of your skin tone, and so many people say, no, she's not here, you know, the parents live abroad, we don't know. So before you came to the show, we posted about you, and a lot of people were asking questions, just you know, laughing and seeing all these questions coming from all over the place. Some Ugandans don't even know that you're Ugandan, they think you're an Afghans. And so who is Crystal in that light?
Well, thank you. I am Ugandan. I keep saying that. My father is a Ugandan. His name is Newman, which I know throws everyone off.
Yes.
But his grandfather gave him that name, but we're from Ibanda district. So that is home from my dad. My mom is Ugandan too, except she's half English, half Muganda. So yes, even though maybe I sound a little different, I'm a bit, what do they say, brown?
No, really not brown. Yes. You are really...
Mr. Kalito. Yes, so I grew up in Zambia. My dad was an airline pilot. He was working for Zambia Airways at the time, and because of the political insecurity, like before I was born, I guess, the family had to leave Uganda very early. So my first years, I was born in Nairobi, then I grew up in Zambia. Then when things started to calm down, we came back as a family. So we came back, I went to Buganda Road Primary School, then I went to Makerere College School, which was one of those schools that was very creative. And yeah, I grew up here. After that, I went to Makerere University. I did mass communication, majored in broadcasting, and yeah, I worked in the media ever since.
Wow. 20 years of your life has been in the media, and if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of people don't quite understand how that works, and somebody staying in one place for that long and wondering, okay, and then all of a sudden after 2 decades, Crystal say, all right guys, it's enough, I'm out of this place, see you guys, I'm going to do something else. But I need to earlier than that, you started doing something. And what was the turnaround time of your life from a personal point of leadership, if you take that through, that you realize I need to move from this point A to point B? I'm talking about leadership at personal level, but before you dive into it, I want you to define what is leadership to you.
Well, leadership is number one, walking the talk. I think there are too many people who talk the talk, but not enough people walk the talk. So you have to be a leader. Leadership has to be seen. It has to be felt. It's something you have to learn from. Leadership is being responsible for, you know, your actions, your decisions, being able to back them up, being able to see other people's strengths, to bring out the best in your team, your family, your friends. That's leadership. You have to be able to identify people's unique talents, unique gifts, and bring out the best in them. To me, that's what I think of leadership.
Okay. So, Crystal, this show is about leadership development, personal leadership development, change management, and transformation. You have defined leadership. The question is, are you a leader yourself?
I do think so. I believe so.
What kind of leader are you?
What kind of leader am I? I'm that leader who I feel walks the talk. Walks the talk. I do try to bring out the best in others. You know, on this journey of leadership, you have to understand what your strengths are and your weaknesses are. I realized over time that I was able to connect with people in a different way. And everywhere I've worked, I've been able to either lift people's spirits up or say, oh, you know, you seem to be really good at this, why don't you try that? And I'm also very good at problem solving, very, very quick at problem solving. So I feel I'm the kind of leader who makes a team feel good about what they do. And yeah, I want to believe that people leave after working with me better than when they came in.
Wow. So there are 5 different types of leadership that we have. I'm a leadership coach. And I want to just bring to you those 5 on this very first part of the show, just to ask you a question to sort of like know which one you use. And I'm going to give you 5 different leadership approaches that are commonly practiced all across the world, and great leaders use them. So there's laissez-faire type of leader and the leadership approach. And I want you to give an example of which leader you think in the world sort of like practice that along the way in your own view once you get it. And number 2 is what we call the democratic leader, and there's an example to that as well. And number 3 is what we call autocratic leader, and there's an example to that kind of leader as well. And number 4 is what we call the transactional leader. There are many, and I think you will come up with maybe 1 or 2 examples of
I feel like this is an exam.
Yes. And what we call transformative leadership approach. There are 5. Which one of these do you practice? Based on your point of saying, when you work with people, you make them feel good. So by the time they're done with you, they are better than they came in. They're better leaders, they're better people, basically turning leaders or followers into leaders. That's what I get from
Yes,
you.
yes.
So what part or which part of these 5 different type of leadership approaches do Crystal really practice on a day-to-day? If any, which one is your best?
I think at any point in time you have to tap into a different kind of leadership style, because people are unique, and dealing with people management also means you have to adjust accordingly. So a lot of people do need to be told what to do. They need to be given a plan and guidance, right? There are people who need micromanagement. Then there are the people who are so capable, you can sit back, laissez-faire. You're just like, okay, you understand the brief, you know what to do.
Yes.
I'm going to sit back and wait for results.
Yeah.
Then if you have someone who is, lazy, who drags their feet, who doesn't take deadlines seriously, then you're going to need a different style of leadership. So in terms of just saying, what style am I feel like we all tap into different ones, although I like to believe that I'm more of a democratic leader, that style of leadership, because I want everybody on board. They're the people who come out and say, this is what needs to happen. We are going to do it like this, A, B, C, D. But I am like, this is what needs to happen. How do you think we can best make it happen? And in terms of my leadership style, I would say that it kind of covers it, but everything in life is fluid. Everything in life is dynamic. So I've worked to try and work on all those elements, because also being too much of a micromanager, people are like, hello, are you going to just be here over my shoulder the whole time? So yes, I feel like there's so many different ways that you must tap into different leadership styles. Yes, and it depends on the situation, it depends on the person, and because I live my life in a way that I feel you keep changing, you keep growing, you keep evolving. So even your leadership style does the same.
Okay. So Krista, you're on the CEO bench. The CEO bench is 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes television program that focuses on leadership, focuses on individual leaders, people who are on the journey to the top, and those who are already on the top, and as well as those who are on the top coming down. When you're on the top and you're coming down, we want to know, how was it on the top? And if you're going up, we want to know, so what is the journey like going to the top? And we want to look at you from a certain point of reference when you've reached a certain point and you're going up there. And you are one side person right now, leading and moving to the top. From just your journey, if we look at you from Sanyo FM, from the different works, that you've been doing and putting out, and to now starting your own production company, moving forward, by any description, you definitely fit with the bill of being on the CEO bench, and you are nominated by over 25 votes, first of all across, so that's a plus. So the CEO bench looks at such people and what their contributions are in society and community, in their families, individually, as well as, the people they work with. So if you're going up, which is your case right now.
Which I believe.
Yes, it is. I think
I'm not up on top. Let's be very clear about that.
Yes, you're on your way to the top. And I want to just take you straight to that question where I say, what has been your personal journey like? Starting from, like, let's say growing up. Growing up, did you ever see yourself being where you are today?
I would say yes. I would say yes. I mean, when I was in Zambia, I was very athletic growing up, so maybe early childhood dreams, I thought I was going to be a gymnast. I was into gymnastics. Then
Whoa.
I came back to Uganda and I went to Buganda Road and they're like, what is gymnastics? And I'm like, okay.
Yes,
So high jump, long jump, I did other things.
Yeah.
But from the time I was in Buganda Road, I was in the music productions, I was in dance productions, I was on stage, I was modeling, I was always being picked on, you know, if we have to go and perform for parents or there's a festival, and that happened all through my high school.
Yeah.
So I kind of already knew I needed a platform where I would express myself, where I can entertain others. So I always thought I was going to be a television presenter. By the time I got to my O-levels, I was sure I wanted to be a television presenter. My mom said law, I said no. Me, lawyer, no, not happening.
Yes.
Books for the rest of my life, not happening. So yeah, so I did mass communication at that point, thinking television was it for me.
Yes.
I ended up in radio. Not planning to be in radio, but I ended up in radio. But at every point of the way, because like you said, people felt I made this major life change when I left radio. And people said I'd retired from radio, but radio was only one thing of many things I was doing. And I keep saying that's the thing. I started doing radio, then I started doing TV, and I started hosting events. I was also doing public relations. Then at some point I became a beauty queen. I represented Uganda as Mrs. Uganda at Mrs. World pageant. So I feel like every step of the way, I was never in this one straight path. So my growth as a leader has been stepping out and trying many different things and learning every step of the way.
Wow.
Learning from all the people I interact with.
Wow. That said, Crystal, I want to just take you through to my next question in that regard. We're still talking about growing up. Growing up not from just as a child, but now growing up into the steps that you're going, where you've reached. You've talked about many things that you've been up to. And I want to ask you a question. What excites you right now very much at this level of the journey that you're in?
Ooh, what excites me? What excites me is seeing so many people I interact with grow and achieve different things. In this journey, I have a show, Crystal One-on-One, as you know, on YouTube. And so many of the people that I have sat down and interviewed soon after my show are placed in different positions or get certain jobs and gigs, and I'm like, yay! Because I feel like, you know, recognizing that potential in someone, putting it on a stage or a platform like mine, and someone else recognizes it and they help that person grow, that's what excites me. I am excited about trying new things. In terms of my personal growth, for the longest time, and I think every one of us goes through it, you're like, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at this, but I'm not good at that. So you stay away from the things you're not good at. And a couple of years ago, I made the decision to just take on new challenges. I've talked about it a lot, where I was like, just do. I just said, no, Crystal, I started the year, I'm like, from this point on, I'm not going to say, but I don't know, can I really? Just do. And ever since then, so much has happened that has been amazing, and I'm learning what I'm capable of. And again, recognizing that I'm a problem solver, I'm very good at problem solving, I can bring that to being able to do things.
Okay. Crystal, a lot of people see you as a person on the ladder, growing, and they do not know what you're looking for in life. Yes. Because they just see you. I mean, it's a typical example. I see Crystal, you see me, we're busy, we're there, but all of us are looking for something in life. And we want to be somewhere. We have certain aspirations that we're, you know, striving towards to make it and to get there. So, looking forward to you in your new assignment right now as the founder and the content creator of your own company going forward. I want to know from you, and you've been working with Sheraton, we see you a little bit doing some stuff with Sheraton. Sometimes somebody sent me a message, says, is Crystal going to be a chef at Sheraton? Can you ask her if she's going to do, and what days show we can come and we can enjoy? I'm like, well, I'm not sure whether you understand whether she's going to be a chef or something. But yeah, so question is, what are you looking for in this new assignment of content creator for television?
Okay. Well, when you say new, I've been doing this, okay, Crystal Newman Productions is about 2-3 years old.
Yes.
So to me, it's not so new.
Yes.
It's not so new.
Yeah.
But again,
new in the sense that you had 20 years of radio, so anybody expected
so
you
meaning
to
content,
content
new creation.
Crystal Radio, Crystal FM. We're waiting for Crystal FM or something like that.
No, but you know, it's funny. That's what I used to hear for the longest time. People are like, why don't you start your own radio station?
Yes.
I'm like, why do you assume that's my dream? Too many people assume what your dreams are.
Yes.
And again, I do not like to be boxed in any way. That's why people are like, are you a chef? I'm like, well, I'm not a trained chef, but I love food.
Yes.
So because I love food, I share my joy and I share my cooking.
Okay.
So I have Crystal's Bites. People are like, oh, you know, you're the Oprah of Uganda. I'm like, wow, that's a huge compliment.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I just love listening to people's stories and sharing people's stories. Because I learn as well as my guests. Then when it comes to being a TV presenter, it comes to being a producer, I'm also enjoying that journey. So I feel like I do not want to be boxed in, and so many people are boxed in, and I'm also one of those people who is against titles.
Okay.
Because people like titles, and titles again to me are restrictive. So I'm always, you know, trying new things. Again, but it takes you back to just do.
Yeah.
That is really where I'm heading. So right now, I'm working at the first online radio station in Uganda, which is RX Radio. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's different, that's new. I'm like, yeah, another challenge.
Yes.
We can make
not
this
as much
work.
as it would be the other side,
Because I did that. And I'm looking for challenges now. Challenges that will push me in different directions. And if along the way, I mean, I learn about more of my gifts, because I believe I've been granted quite a few gifts and I'm thankful for them. I would try to stretch my potential as much as possible. So content creation, how I go about it is I share a lot of my life. It's not staged, it's not artificial, because there are people who, you talked about, like I'm working with Sheraton, I work with very many different clients, but every client I work with, it has to be genuine. It has to be something that fits into my lifestyle and something that people say, yeah, actually, that's for real. Because there are too many people who are like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. But does it apply to you? Is it who you are? Does it make sense? Because I worked very hard to build my brand.
Yeah.
Whatever I work with has to be in line with my brand.
Wow. Crystal, on that note, the first part of the show, which is leadership, is what we've been talking about. All of that journey you've been talking about is a leadership journey. If you don't have a leadership approach that leads you to the next level, then it's going to be difficult for you to lead yourself to make from point A to point B, and to go into the change management that we're going to be talking about in a bit when we come back from the break. But I want to ask you a question on the leadership journey. I want to ask you, on that note of all the things that you've talked about, if we were to ask you what your understanding of leadership at the personal level, family level, society level, corporations where you have been, as well as the national level, what would it look like from a Crystal perspective?
I think leadership in every one of those spaces is about growth. It's about impact on others. What kind of impact do you have on your family, in the corporation you're in, within your friends? What kind of impact? What kind of growth are you having on a personal level? And I like that you talk about leadership of self. I think I mentioned work ethic. And this is because of my experiences with so many other individuals. Many people don't take their work ethic seriously. And as a result, the work that they put out speaks, volumes. So you must respect yourself before you can respect others. That is something we learn along the way. You must take your word seriously. You must take your commitments seriously. And that is something that, spreads out. So at the end of the day, like I said before, people are fixated with titles. I mean, we can even have front desk managers right now.
We actually have them right now, yeah.
But at the end of the day, your work should speak for you.
Yeah.
Whether it is your work and relationships in a home environment, in a corporate environment, your work should speak for you.
Yeah.
That is what will tell your story.
Wow. Well, Crystal, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about change management, and we wanted to understand the foray into your new life now, from the radio to another radio, to television, to another television, to producer, to director, to Crystal Newman, Productions, which is now the baby of 2.5 years, if I'm meant to know.
Yeah.
Whose product, that's just legalization.
And again, one of many things I'm doing.
Legalization, yes, exactly. But it's changing life. We want to know what has been the journey like as a person going on the top. So, welcome to the CEO Bench. I'm sure you're enjoying already. We're going for a break, and when we come back, Crystal will be telling us more about change management. This is the CEO Bench.
Led by a lion, will beat an army of sheep led by a lion will beat an army of lions led by a sheep. That's a fake. Yeah. So let's be very honest about this thing, and really understand that you need to understand where you lie and where you fall. So it's very important for us to understand that leadership has to be definitive. You can't be laissez-faire. It has to be definitive. You have to be strong, just like a lion. When a lion meets an elephant or a buffalo or whatever, the buffalo and all these animals run away. And yet, by the way, they are stronger than the lion. They are heavier than the lion. They are more intelligent than the lion. They are taller than the lion. They run away. The lion, because of its attitude, it sees lunch. That is a leader.
Mr. Tenetra, thank you very much for coming to the CEO Bench. And I want to ask you, so if you were elected the President of the Republic of Uganda today, what would be your first State of Nation address now, as you look into the camera and close the show?
I think my first State of the Nation address would first of all to... I think I'll just close it down.
In recent years, music has become the most important art form in Iceland, and apart from the classical musicians and singers, we have very many well-known pop musicians like Björk, who the whole world has fallen in love with.
My calling was folk music. I've been a folk artist, and that is what I'm still doing. I started by being an apprentice of the late Dr. Albert Sempeke.
it's a CEO bench, so usually people want to assume that all CEOs are over-learned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time around. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question, I think, to answer. I am a typical Lao man from Erute North, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lago south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down the south after Karuma, I think I'm number one.
Welcome back from that break. My name is Edio Killer, and in the studio is Christo Newman, who is the founder and the content creator of Christo Newman Productions. Many things there. Christo One-on-One, Christo Bites, Christo, tourism, Christo Hotel, Christo Cooking, Christo, she's... Welcome back to the show. So I'm giving you more, so that because I know you're going to produce many of these things anyway, and you're already doing it. But welcome back to the show, Christo.
Thank you.
And to all of you guys who are joining us from wherever you are joining us all across the world, thank you very much. I think Christo is here already, and we're going to have a great discussion with Christo going forward. We're diving into change management, and if you've been following, please send us your kisses and disses, please, and we'll be able to respond. Make sure you don't hit the glass house very much. By kisses and disses, I mean please kiss if we're doing very well, diss if we're not doing very well. It's all allowed in the CEO bench, and that's what makes the CEO great. Christo just told us you don't get thrown out of, off balance because your staff is not being good, but you're supposed to be greater with your staff, or making your staff look what? Greater? Because he said that if your staff is not greater than you, then you're not doing a good job.
Yes. If the people around you, the people you're working with, are not
Exactly.
growing and getting better and learning something new, then you as a leader, you're failing.
Yes. Christo, on that note, I am a transformational leadership coach. And I've been practicing this for a very long time. And I train a lot of executive people. Along the way, I found out that I wrote this a few years ago when I was designing a course for some of the universities here, leadership at diploma level, advanced diploma level. And one of the things I found out is that there are 5 types of leadership approaches, which we discussed already before. And one of the studies that we did along the way was looking at George W. Bush when he was the president. At the time, the former president of the United States. So I asked students of these 5 different type of leadership approaches, which one did you think that Bush was really practicing well? And 85% of them said Bush was a laissez-faire leader. And then, so laissez-faire leader is a leader who leaves everything to everyone, but forgets that at the end of the day, you will be held responsible.
You'll be held accountable.
And responsible and accountable for your actions or whatever actions your team has made. And I saw that in his book later on when he said, he sort of like talked about Dick Cheney, who was his person, and what happened. He says the decision to go to Iraq wasn't okay. I was, not given the right information. Powell, I think, remained, as we call it in Uganda, And I found that a very classic example of a laissez-faire leader. So it means that a leader, if left and does not sort of like take care of the responsibility given to him as a leader at that point, he will still end up in a wrong path. Yes. Then I picked on transformative leadership approach, which is a leadership approach that looks at the change in a person as an individual. And that change in a person as an individual should cause change first in you, and then in social systems of a nation or a society, whatever it is, or whichever classification we're talking about, as well as, turning followers into leaders, which you've talked about. Now, on that note, When you're managing change, you need to fuse all of this.
Yes.
At some point, you want to be an autocratic leader who just dictates. But we all know that autocratic leadership has its own space and time. And when the time comes, it's a militaristic approach to things where you order. Yes, you do this. You don't do this, I will do this. They will do it and give you results very quickly. But along the way, it will break. And when it breaks, it has a very disastrous end. We have seen that as well. That said, when managing change, you have to use all of those 5 different leadership approaches.
Yes.
Crystal, moving from one place to the next, for Crystal, was a huge journey.
I guess.
Yes. 20 years of radio.
I know.
I mean, you were there for 20 years. Who leaves a job of 20 years? You are a senior, you are everything. Obviously, we expected you to become the next MD. Usually, you grow up in space, become next MD or general manager. Before you know it, and you will CEO.
Those expectations.
Yes.
Are they my dreams or yours?
Yes.
Yes.
So, yes, because the society demands that. How was it different for Crystal going forward?
Okay. Well, I was on radio for 18 years. Left for what?
Plus your live days, so make it 20.
Yeah. And then I'm back on radio now.
Yes.
On radio, but in a very different environment and style. For me, again, I will say, because I trained very many of the personalities and radio presenters that went through Stand FM. And while I trained them, I told each and every one of them, this cannot be the only thing you're doing. That's what I'll tell everyone. Learn, become good at this, but it cannot be the only thing you're doing. So I've always carried myself that way. Even though I was in radio for all that time, again, I was doing so many other things. So change was a constant. I think what holds so many of us back is, of course, fear. And maybe just not trusting yourself enough to, can I really do this? Can I really do that? So I always find it interesting when I have these conversations with people like, oh, Krista, you made this huge change. And to me, I'm like, oh, it was just another step. The way I look at it, I'm like, oh, just another step in my journey. Was it some fear when I was leaving? I'm like, yes, there was definitely fear. But again, you have to trust yourself. And failure is part of this journey, And I think that's the thing, especially when you said now people are looking at you, you made a name for yourself, they've put you up on some pedestal. People put me up on a pedestal, I'm like, can I please come back down? It's nice to be down there. Why am I on a pedestal? Yes. I mean, I'm just a human being like everybody else. So change has been every step of the way for me. But it just got to a point where I had to make some bigger decisions that maybe shook the foundation of what people saw me as. So it's just been a journey of let me do this, and let me try that, and let me try that, and let me try this. So that's why you'll see me doing so many different things. I mean, once in a while I'll have a little bit of fun and sing a little bit, and people are like, oh my God, Crystal, you should be a singer. No, that's not my path. It is not my path, but I mean, you just have to take change as it comes. We fight change, we're so scared of change, but it is part of life. Our bodies change, our faces change. I wish I looked like I did when I was 18, but I don't. I mean, yes, you may lose a job instead of leave a job. You may lose your business may grow. You may suck at something, and then you write it down and say, yeah, I am not good at this. Maybe I should try that. So it's just part of the process, I should say, and accepting it and then dealing with it. Because a lot of life is about how we react to the things. Yes.
Wow. Crystal, on that note, what is your understanding of change management, and which principles do you always apply when moving out, if at all? And how do you communicate as well as manage the process of where you are going when you land? Most people land in the next place and people say, she has come, I'm leaving. Then
what?
Yes. And then some people come and says, oh, thank God we have a new manager. Oh God, I was about to leave this job, now I'm staying. So it requires that change is communicated. Prepare people mentally, prepare people emotionally, not really very much financially, but also you need to prepare them financially, by extension that you tell them that, look, when I leave, things might change here, so if you don't put your financial position in order, you're definitely likely to have a problem. Your understanding of that, and how have you been managed to communicate this change? If you have communicated, what did you communicate to them?
Okay, I love that you talk about communication, because two things are core to success, whether it's personal development or business or career. One is customer care. Every one of us is responsible for customer care. Even if it's your own colleagues at work, how you relate with other people is customer care, and how you handle these interpersonal relationships. Number two, communication and effective communication. We hear so much about effective communication. We talk a lot about communication, but from my experience, I understand communication comes first with listening. You have to listen. If it's a matter of communicating something new to your team, you can, present whatever new information is there, and then you get feedback, you see, because too many people feel communication is a one-way street, and then it's not effective because you don't come away learning something new. So in every step of the way, I really try to listen and learn from whoever I interact with. Listening is, I feel like a superpower. A good listener, it gives you an edge because you see so much more. And right now we're also talking about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not just words. It comes from observation. Sometimes you pick up on the feelings of the people around you. And I feel that's one of the gifts that I have as well. So every step of the way, yes, communication is so important. Those relationships, your own customer care systems regarding whoever you're dealing with, whether it's someone senior to you or whether someone junior to you. Every person deserves, again, respect. And it starts with respect for self. If you respect yourself, then you respect others. And if you are going to communicate, be open to hearing what other people have to say.
Wow. Crystal, that said, let's take you back a little bit to leaving Sanyu FM, rather. Leaving Sanyu FM after 18 years or so of you working there. How did you arrive at the decision that now I have to go and I'm going to start doing A, B, C, D? Many of us are stuck in the job. We don't know how to leave, when to leave, or when to let go. Sometimes we have outgrown the organization, or the organization have outgrown us, and we don't know, or we're no longer adding value to the organization, but we are stuck because we don't know where to start from when we leave, or what to do when we move. So this show is about bringing people like you onto the show to talk about change management and the journey of that change and how you manage it from a personal perspective, that giving the viewer an insight into your decision-making process so they can learn a thing or two from you.
Well, I guess it comes down to, you have to challenge yourself in other ways. You said people get stuck in a job doing just the one thing. And that's because they're comfortable. That's because that's the only thing they want to do. But, as I said before, life happens, change comes our way, and we have to adjust accordingly.